This exercise is our arch and flatten. So we're going to lie on our backs with our knees bent and our feet flat on the floor. I'm on a nice woolly blanket, but if you find that your feet slide away from you in this position, it's a good idea to use a yoga mat or something a little bit grippy for your feet. Also, I've got my head flat on the floor, and head flat on the floor is ideal for this one. However, that's not super comfortable for everyone. I'm going to take my hair tie out because I'm going to be rolling to the back of my head. So same for you, if you've got hair up or a hairstyle with pins in the back or something like that, it's a good idea to just take your hair out. So if you experience difficulty having your head flat on the floor, that's okay. Find a thin pillow, or even you might have a blanket like this one, this nice woolly one that you can fold up, that's nice and firm and just a little bit higher, or even a yoga mat folded into quarters can be quite useful. So go ahead and do your body scan. If you don't know the body scan, finding the video for the body scan, for the neutral body scan to start with, you'll do that beforehand and you'll do it again afterwards. So our feet are around hip width apart, so not as, well, maybe closer to sit bone width apart, just checking that they're not wider than the hips, wider than where the femur or the upper thigh bone would come out of the pelvis. And it's up to you if you want to rest your hands, your arms down on the floor, or you might choose to bring your hands to your hips for a little bit of awareness in the space of the hips. That's fine. For the purposes of the video, I'm going to move my arm out here out of the way so that you can see the movement in the body. So the first part of the movement, we're going to, and have a little play with this. You might end up not necessarily doing it in this order. For some people, tucking the tailbone, flattening the back is the easier thing to do. They struggle to go the other way. For other people, arching the back and gently pressing the tailbone to the floor is the tricky way. So you'll work out for yourself which one works best for you. I'm going to take this pillow away for me. And again, I've got my arm up here, so it's out of the way of your visibility, but yours will likely be down here or your hand on the hip. So I'm going to start with a little arching of the lower back and gently pressing the tailbone into the floor. So I don't have to go as far as I possibly can, just probably halfway at most, especially if you're prone to tightening in your lower back, you don't want to push it too far. And then as I breathe out, I'm just slowly going to let my pelvis come back to neutral. And then I'm just going to take a big breath with the sense that my whole pelvis is just softening and relaxing. I'm going to take a good few breaths here. Let a bit of time pass. Resist the urge to jump straight back in to doing that again. But once some time has passed, finding an inhale, gently arching the lower back, pressing gently with the tailbone towards the floor, not as far as I can. Just the idea of it. Slowly exhale, maybe even pause and take another breath. Exhale again, coming back to neutral, and you'll see my legs wobble there. That's those muscles, the hip flexors in the front that have been so tight, holding on, just going, oh, actually, we can just let go here. You can do that up to 3 times. We're going to shift into the opposite direction now. So this time, and this might be your preferred direction, but same thing, not going as far as we possibly can, but just as we exhale, taking the lower back towards the floor and slightly lifting the tailbone. So the back of the pelvis stays on the floor, just a sense of tucking that tailbone. And as we breathe in, slowly back to neutral. And just relax. Same thing for me, big movements in the legs as the muscles readjust to a more lengthened position now for those that were over tight, and that enables any underactive muscles to now come into activation for these movements. So one more of those. Belly button draws towards the spine, spine presses gently towards the floor, tailbone slightly tucks. I'm not pressing my back into the floor. It might be just touching it, but it's not pressing. Slowly coming back to whatever feels like neutral and just relaxing, letting the whole pelvis relax. Next step, we're going to move away from the pelvis and move up to the head. So you might choose at this point to just gently rest your knees towards each other and take your feet slightly out, especially if it's felt like a little bit of work for you to hold your legs there. So for this part, sense of having the back of the head on the floor, we're going to lift the chin and roll the weight towards the top of our head, hence we've taken our ponytail out. Again, not as high as I possibly can, just maybe halfway. If you're very tight, maybe it will be as far as you can go, but you don't need to force it. Slowly coming back, and we're going to come through neutral and then bringing our chin towards our chest, lengthening the back of the neck, but keeping the head connected to the floor or your cushion. And then slowly back to wherever feels like neutral. And just letting everything relax. Taking a few breaths here. Not worrying too much about the breath phase through this movement. We're just making sure that we're breathing. So we'll take that one more time. Lifting the chin, rolling the weight towards the back of the head. And then slowly, this is where the slow happens, slow through neutral. Lengthening the back of the neck, chin draws in like you're making double chins. Again, you don't have to force it. And then just slowly back to neutral. Letting your head relax. 3 times max. And if you've rested your knees in towards each other, just bringing your feet in a little bit, bringing your knees apart again, just in a neutral way. So this time we're going to roll through the whole lot together. Don't freak out. Again, it's a natural movement for the body, like if you've done other ones before. It is something that your body will start to do naturally. But it is a lot of work for the brain, yeah? So we're going to we'll start with the flattening of the back, since we started with the arching last time. So for the flattening of the lower back, we're going to exhale, flatten the lower back towards the floor, just lifting the tailbone. And in doing that, we're going to roll towards the back of the head, lifting the chin. And then we're slowly coming back through neutral, breathing in. At neutral, we might pause, soften a little bit, take a breath. And then creating that little arch in the lower back and bringing the chin down to the chest. The inhale will be the easy one to do here. And then as you exhale, back to neutral. And and just let everything relax. So we'll do that one more time without the pause in the middle. Flattening the lower back towards the table, just slightly lifting the tailbone or tucking the tailbone and rolling our weight to the back, lifting the chin. And then as the chin moves down towards the chest, we come through neutral and breathe in, the chin comes down, arching the lower back, and then breathing out, back to neutral. From here, to take the legs out long, let one knee drift out to the side, come to the edge of the foot, let the legs slide out long. You will have seen this in your neutral body scan video. Other leg drifts out to the side, out long, and just let the body rest here. Take that body scan, or of course, if it's uncomfortable for you to have your legs out long, you can just roll onto your side for a few rounds of breath or go straight into your body scan with your knees bent.